Hi everybody! We're not going to talk about how long, but I am in another country. This time, instead of Japan, or really anywhere in Asia, I am now in Europe, specifically Spain, to teach English or to assist teaching English, I guess, as a native English speaker. And it's a very popular program. It's called Auxiliares de Conversación, which is basically just the same concept that you'll see in a lot of countries where you send native English speakers and they will either teach the class or, in this program, help assist teach the class. And why that matters is because as I'm not actually the teacher, I don't need to be TEFL certified, which is teaching English as a foreign language certified. Because I'm not actually teaching, I'm just there to kind of be an example to the students and give them motivation to actually speak the language. Because let's face it, how often did any of us actually speak the language in our high school classes? Right? So that's basically why I'm here. And I realized while I was doing the application and figuring it all out that there is nothing on YouTube to help you. There are so many blogs, and blogs are great, but I prefer vlogs. Like, I just like to be watching something, maybe I can be doing something else, I don't know, but I prefer this kind of a format, and there really wasn't anything. So I'm hoping that this can maybe help others. If I'm vlogging what's going on, maybe people will be able to more easily access the information that they need, or at the very least, it'll open up another possibility for people to learn about being an ALX. So with that said, I figured the best place to start is where to start. And that is how to actually be an ALX. And you do that by applying. Oh my gosh, such a concept. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. There are what I realize to be 5 or 6 basic steps that I'm going to go over with you guys right now. And I hope it helps you or anybody out there that also wants to be an auxiliar. So, without further ado, step number 1. So step number 1 is, first of all, to make sure that you're actually allowed to be an ALX. Okay, sadly, it's not actually open to everybody on Earth. And they do have a couple requirements. They're not hard, but they can be kind of restricting depending on where you're from. And that's because you have to be a native English speaker. Usually, although you might be able to figure out a way around that, you have to have grown up also in a native English speaking country. So it can't just be that you learned it at home, or maybe you took it as a second language and then you became fluent as you kept studying. You have to be native and you have to have grown up in a country where they speak English as the primary language. On top of that, you also have to have your bachelor's degree. It can be in anything. You don't need to have it in Spanish. You don't need to have it in education. It literally doesn't matter. They just want you to have your bachelor's degree to prove that you're educated, because in that way you're more likely to be able to help educate others. I'm assuming. I don't know. I wasn't in that meeting, but that's the rule. So you have to be a native English speaker from a native English speaking country, and you have to have your bachelor's degree. This also works if you're a native French speaker, because they also have a program in French, but I don't know that one very well, so I'm not going to touch on it. Step number 2. So number 2, you have to actually go and apply. And that's really easy because you apply online and it's free. You don't need to pay for it, you just apply. However, I kind of lied because it's also really, really, really hard. It's very complicated. People who have done the program before and are just reapplying for a second year or a third year or even a fourth year still have a hard time with the application itself. It's pretty confusing. But what you do is I just Googled it. I was literally like, all right, apply to be an Elks, and they're like, there you go, and I said, thank you very much, now what do I do? But I'll link the place where you can apply in the description below, but basically that's the website that you're going to, and on that website you can apply directly from the website. They have a PDF file right there, and that part is really easy. It's just the application itself that can be really confusing, mostly because it's in Spanish. So if you don't speak Spanish, it's hard. I'm fluent in Spanish, and I was still struggling to try to figure out what was going on. But that's okay, because they also have kind of like a step-by-step instruction manual on the website that you can follow. It's helpful. Don't not use it. It is helpful. You can figure out the application. It's just going to be kind of hard. Which brings me to step number 3. So step number 3, and actually this probably should be step number 1, at least for me. It was step number 1 before I even checked if I was eligible or anything. This is the first thing I did, is you join the Facebook page for the year you're applying for. And I did this first. I actually joined the Facebook page for the year prior to the year that I was applying for, so that I could start following the Facebook page and see if anybody was saying stuff that, oh, I should be thinking about that, like if anybody was posting questions to the Facebook page, or just general, what should I be expecting as I'm applying, like what's going to happen when I'm there. It's just a really good idea. Join the Facebook page. If you don't have a Facebook, get one just to join the page. I don't know. It really just, it was a lifesaver to me. It tells you exactly what to expect, what's coming, and more than anything, everybody on that page is probably in the same position that you are, so they're asking questions that you want answers to as well, and it's very helpful. It's incredibly helpful. Like, I can't stress this enough. Join the Facebook page. Really. So number 4. You finish the application, because chances are before you join that Facebook page, you did not, in fact, finish the application because you needed other people to be like, how do you fill this part out? And everybody's saying, you do this, and then you say, oh, thank you. All right, now I can apply. So you finish the application for step number 4, and this is also the step where in the application you have the chance to choose your top 3 regions in Spain. So if you don't know much about Spain, it's divided into regions, kind of like states, but not like states, just like regions. It's divided into regions, and many of them are semi-autonomous, which is why it's kind of like states, but they're not all semi-autonomous. I think it's slightly confusing. However, you get to choose your top 3 regions that you would like to be placed in. And for the most part, you will probably get one of those 3 unless you apply really, really late. And the application is open from January through April. So you have a long time to apply, but apply early, because then you'll be on an earlier part of the list and you'll get placed earlier. And you may or may not get your first one depending on when you apply, depending on how popular the region is, so on and so forth. But you also have to choose your size preference for the place you'll be working in. So you choose how small of a little itty-bitty village you want, or how massive of a city. And you have to realize that whatever you put, it really doesn't matter, because they're probably going to ignore you anyways. But I was listened to. I got what I wanted. I don't know if that's because they actually gave me what I wanted. I wanted a small city. We'll put it that way. Like a big town, small city size. And that's exactly what I got, and I'm so happy with it. I completely love where I've been placed. But yeah, so don't think that you're actually getting what you're asking for because you really don't know with that one. But the regions they listen to for the most part. And then step number 5 is you wait. And you wait. And you wait. And then finally after waiting, you see on the Facebook page people are starting to get placed and you're freaking out because you're so excited. And then you realize that the people getting placed are the people that have already done it before or are just renewing with the schools that they were already in. So then you have to wait again. Yeah. And there's more waiting. And then more waiting. And then more waiting. And then finally, people are actually getting placed. And then you have to check your email every 20 seconds. I mean, you don't have to, but you will, I promise. And the reason is because they'll send an email with your acceptance and you'll have 3 days to accept it. If you don't accept your placement and respond to that email within 3 days, you lose it and they move on to the next person and you don't get it. So you will be checking your email constantly. And then finally, after all this frickin' waiting, you get your email. And that is so exciting because once you get your email, you're going to Spain. And so I hope this helps. That's the basic application system. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below and I will do my best to respond to them or make another video that's slightly more clear if this wasn't very helpful. But please let me know if this was any help at all, and I will see you next time. Bye bye!